I just got back from my week-long vacation in Virginia. That's where I grew up, and I was visiting my dad's side of the family. I've recently been into sewing. I crocheted this top and then sewed this dress part onto it. This is my thrifted sewing machine from the 80s. So while I was there in Virginia, I wanted to see what kind of old vintage textiles and fabrics I could find, because the house where I grew up was where my great-grandparents raised my grandma, and then my dad and his brother, her kids, they inherited the house 20 years ago or so. So there's still stuff in the attic that belongs to my great-grandparents, and I only knew my great-grandmother very briefly before she passed away when I was just a baby. She was into sewing, so there were some sewing patterns that she made for my grandma when my grandma was my age, in her 20s, in the 70s, and started teaching. So I wanted to kind of take a look at the sewing patterns, any old finished clothes, and any old fabrics. That house is full of lots of stuff that belonged to different people, and it's just kind of been pushed back in the attic and forgotten about. So I filled up a pretty decent sized box when I was there, and I definitely had to ship it back because I didn't have enough room in my suitcase. I only brought a carry-on and a small duffel bag for 8 days, so I definitely didn't have room for much of anything else. So I'm going to show you what I got. So this is a dress that my great-grandmother made for my grandmother back in the 70s when my grandmother started teaching. She was an English teacher. I think this is lovely. It's a nice plaid, and I didn't notice this until later after I washed it and stuff, but there's a little kind of cute lace detail hidden in the hem. My dad is in a band called Heretics Fork Drive, and they wanted him to join in on a singer-songwriter showcase at the new brewery, and it's kind of a cool place. It's, you know, you go downstairs, and so it's a bit of a speakeasy vibe. Nice little classy place, so I was like, I'm gonna take some of this new stuff and put it on. So that's what I wore to the little speakeasy gig. This is another dress that my great-grandmother made for my grandmother when she started teaching, when she was in her 20s. The fabric is really neat. It's got like a Pan Piper and castles and roses, and a little girl with a hat and somebody playing a mandolin. It's very pretty, and it also came with the matching fabric belt and a little scarf. This is another piece that just belonged to my grandmother when she was younger. Just a simple sweatshirt from the 70s or 80s maybe. The tag has been cut out, so I'm not sure what brand it is or any other details. So up in that attic that I was talking about, that's actually where I kind of discovered crochet. I remember 15 years ago or so, I was about 10, and we were kind of up there for something, maybe looking for something, and you know, we kind of broke through the frontier, and I found this basket. It was kind of like a magazine basket, and it had some crochet hooks and yarn, and you know, I kind of grabbed this. I was like, oh, what's this? And my grandma was there, and she said that it was her mother's, and her mother crocheted, and she knew a little bit of crochet when she was younger. So she tried to show me what she knew, and it was really only the basics. I remember I wanted to make some kind of hat, and the pattern called for like crocheting in the round, and she could not figure out how to do that, and I could not figure out how to do that at the time. So I kind of just made like dishcloths and stuff. I really liked it. And then eventually I guess I went to YouTube and figured out how to finally crochet in the round. And then I didn't even get into crocheting clothes until about 5 years ago. So kind of cool that it was in that very attic, and it was, my great grandmother's crochet stuff that got me interested. And so going back in there last week, I did find this single skein of yarn. I believe this is from the 70s or the 80s. I'll have to look it up. Windtuck yarn, 100% acrylic. It looks like it came from Kmart, which was pretty popular back then. So I also found these vintage bed sheets. These actually came from the guest room at my grandmother's house. I would definitely love to make a dress out of this. I also found these old feed bags. I have seen dresses made from fabric like this, such as sugar sacks and flour sacks. So this one says 100 pounds, special process, corn distillers, dried solubles with grains. So this is like for feeding livestock. There was this one, the back is plain. And then there was one more. This one is Pillsbury's, manufactured by the Pillsbury Company. These definitely have a lot of staining. My grandma said that she remembers her dad storing hams in these, to keep dust off them and stuff and hanging them up. So this one has like a stitch down the back, and they're definitely both really stained. I did a pre-wash and a regular wash, and the stains didn't come out. But I do plan to cut away the usable parts, and I was thinking if that's not enough to make a dress or at least a skirt, I think it would make very cute, something patchwork. I could do a patchwork dress, or just like patchwork kitchen curtains, with some of this fabric, maybe some lace fabric. This is another sheet. I thought this one was really cute. The story behind this one is that my dad and his brother had matching dinosaur sheets when they were little. And so these are from the 80s, late 80s, maybe early 90s. My favorite is this red dinosaur here. He's got kind of a duck-billed face. That gray one is pretty cute too. But I think this is adorable. I definitely want to make a dress out of this. I might have enough fabric to make 2 dresses, I'm not sure. But I was thinking something like this top. This is made with the lemon peel stitch. And I think that it looks kind of, I don't know, Flintstones, Pebbles, something like that, and it kind of matches the prehistoric look. I also found this set of curtains up in the attic. I guess this is from the 70s, 60s or 70s maybe. Okay, this is another piece. I think I just saw a tag. Aha. So this is a twin size sheet, and that is quite a lot of fabric. This edge is curved, and this edge is curved. Okay, I get it now. I get how it's a sheet now. At first I was thinking it was curtains, it was folded up. I thought this fabric was really cool, and there's a lot of it, so there's a lot of possibility there to figure out what I want to make with this. This is just a little mirror. It says Estee Lauder, and I found this in my great-grandmother's purse. Just a simple little red mirror. My uncle was telling me that the only thing that he really remembers my great-grandmother wearing was this red wool peacoat. It's a little set, and that's hanging up in the closet too, but I didn't take that. I thought it was really cute. but I just wanted to take this mirror. I think it's really sweet. I also found this little Coca-Cola tin. I looked inside of it, and it's a little sewing kit. It's got a paper tape measure, a needle, 2 buttons, 2 safety pins, a needle threader, and apparently this belonged to my grandpa, and I was visiting him too, and he said, you know, this was his. It wasn't even very old, but it looks old and it's cute, so I took that. I also grabbed some sewing patterns, and I found this little pamphlet, Crocheted and Knitted Sweaters for Him and Her. These are the sewing patterns that I grabbed. I've never really used a sewing pattern. I think it's pretty cool how it gives you different options like sleeveless or long sleeve. This one's one of my favorites. This one my great-grandmother had written, "This pattern is too short," and then she sealed it shut so that it wouldn't get made again. A little apron. This is so cute. I love the drawings. Look at that blonde girl. She just looks so happy. This one has so much variety. It comes with the pants and the vest and the shirt. This one, I thought the white one would make a really cute house dress. Another one with pants and a vest. I thought this one was really cute. I don't have any kids to make it for, but I have a crochet pattern with ducks in the sweater pockets, so I just had to grab this. And lastly, I found this little stamp kit that was mine when I was younger, and I remember this being one of my favorite things ever. It kind of doesn't stay together anymore, but it's actually not as dried out as I thought it would be. So in the first part, oh wait, it's got something written on the bottom. 1997? Okay, it's Crayola, I remember that now. So it's a little crayon, and then in the first compartment, it's got a purple star. And look at that, it's not dried up. I really can't believe that, but not totally dried up. And then in the second one, there's a little orange cat. In the third one, there is a yellow birthday cake. That one is too pale to see on my skin. In the next one, there's a blue dolphin. That one shows up really well. In the orange one, there is a green squash. And at the crayon tip, it says wow. And that one doesn't work too well. But yeah. I remember this was just one of my favorite things ever. I don't know why. I think it was just the fact that they're never what you expect. Like, between the yellow and the green is an orange cat, and in the orange one there's a green squash. I don't know. That's everything that I sent myself from Virginia. I had a great time visiting my family, and I'm glad that I was able to find some things. I'm definitely going to try my hand at these sewing patterns, kind of figure out. I feel like even if the size isn't exactly right, you know, I can kind of still look at it and figure out how they're constructing it, and then, you know, expand on the pieces of fabric that I need to make them the right size or whatever. I'm especially excited for the corn feed bags. I just think they're so cute. I saw a dress made out of sugar sacks before, and it's just adorable. You know, the cream colored fabric and the light blue print. It's really classic. Well, that's it. thanks for watching me show you all this stuff that I dug up.